Live now. I'm here today with Donnalou Stevens, an amazing boomer that is going to tell us a little bit about her story and how she became a sensation on YouTube. So welcome, Donnalou.
Thank you, Shahar. It's really nice to be here.
You know, first of all, I know you're a songwriter and you're an artist, but I want to know a little bit about your story. How did you get started, and what led you to make that video and post on YouTube?
Oh gosh, it's a kind of an interesting story. I was born with a lot of creative energy and just this unbounding energy. It didn't quite fit in anywhere because of all of it, but ooh, they certainly tried to make me do that. And I came from a pretty hard background, actually. I was really a sensitive child, and was not I didn't want to conform very much, and that got me in a lot of trouble till I was
Oh,
older. And my my history has been a lot of physical
mm-hmm.
struggles.
Okay.
I suffered chronic pain for 30 some odd years.
Wow.
It's just a miracle that all this happened, and because of that, there was a lot of, a worry about, wow, what am I going to do? How am I going to take care of myself? So I really learned, through the back door and the opposite way, to really trust what's happening. And my music and my art, I always wrote for what I wanted to live into. So even though I was feeling a certain way, I didn't want to create art about that. I never wanted to create art that perpetuated any pain.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted it to be whimsical or poignant in some way, not only for me but for the people around me.
I see.
And then my songs stuck in people's heads when I started being a songwriter. And I'm like, well, what do I want in there then? Right? So I never wrote another negative song. It's like I only write feel-good music.
And do you think that's when you start seeing things changing, actually, for you?
It was a long time. That was certainly a part of it. But I basically turned around at one point in time and said, okay, what's happening here? And I figured out the difference with lots of hours of stillness and introspection, the difference between pain and suffering.
I see.
And I learned how, even though the body was in pain, not to suffer, to live joyfully. And I started doing that, and over time then, of course, the pain started to unwind, and I no longer made it an enemy. It's like I started to be curious about it. And so I would turn around when it would arise, and I would look at it almost as if one of my dear friends were in pain, or if an animal that I loved were in pain. That's how I started relating to the body and relating to, the circumstance. And that opened up, just this incredible sense of compassion, this incredible sense of this is what I want the whole world to know. Like, if we're gentle here, if we're compassionate right here, if we feel good right here, it can't help but translate.
Yeah, sure. Now, tell me one thing. How did the old lady's video idea came about?
Oh, gosh. I have a best friend. Her name is Bethlyn. She lives in Dallas. And she made the mistake of asking her husband, honey, how would you like it if my body was 20 years younger? Would you like it better? And he made the mistake of saying yes. And so that's kind of how the song got started. And I was on a van going to her house when it started happening, scribbling it on a little notepad, while waiting for the other passengers to get it. It's almost like when a song's coming in, like I'm dictating. I don't take any credit for it, because it's just like this idea comes and then this idea comes. It's just like, it's not my idea, it's just I happen to grasp it when it's passing through the airways, right? And so anyway, I look up after writing, and the van is filled with these 50-plus-year-old men, all men. There was about 10, 11 of them. one of them. I'm ha, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm writing a song." And it came in very fast.
Wow.
And then I like, okay, that's a great first draft, right? And the guy said, "Are you done?" And yeah, I'm done. "Hey, you all, shut up! She's gonna sing us her new song." And I did, and all the guys loved it. So I'm like, well, that's a good first step. And then there's a lot longer story of how it, but that was probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So it's not a new song.
But when did you put the video together?
In April.
Oh. And was
Yeah.
it the first experience having a video online, or you did that?
Yes, it's so crazy. And it was so fun because I'm a visual artist as well. So I've been singing and everything, but I'd never had the delight of putting the visual with the song. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. I can't wait to do more.
And when did you start seeing a lot of views there? Did it happen right after you posted the video? Tell me a little bit about the background. Did you do a lot of promotion?
I did. I contacted this SEO person. He said, well, it would cost you probably a couple of $1,000s to get me to help you. And I'm like, I can't do that. And he said, or I will spend some time with you and I will coach you and you will work your off. But if you do, it could happen. And so for the past month, I've worked 12 to 15-hour days, tweeting and learning. You know, such a learning curve on my own. You know, with this SEO stuff, it's just like, oh my gosh. But it was just like I believed in it. I believed in the song, and then the comments, because I did a living room version of it, just with my friends at a party, and stuck it up on Facebook, and it got 30,000 hits in a week. So I'm like, wow, I'm doing this. And I didn't have the money to do it. My friend, my good friend, he came into a bunch of money in December, and he said, here's some stocks. This is for your creative projects. Wow. And so when I saw that reaction of the original on Facebook, I asked everybody, don't post this on YouTube. Just keep it here, share it, but I want to do something else. And then I called my friend Christine McHugh, we work together, and we're just such a great team. We have exactly the same sense of humor. And I said, I want to do this. She goes, oh, I'm in film school. I don't know if I have the time. I have a final project due. And then she goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this as my final project. I'm like, oh gosh. So not only did I get to work with two of my dearest friends, and I just went for it. I spent half of that money that I had. And I'm like, I'm going for it. I'm going for it.
Yeah, so the money went in the production of that video, correct?
Say that one more time.
The money went into the production of the video.
Absolutely, and everybody did it. You know, we did it on a shoestring budget, and everybody had so much fun. And friends helped, and gathering the ladies, and then juggling the schedules of how to accommodate everybody, and that's what it. And my director, Christine, she said, you know, you got to tell people this is not going to be that much fun. It's a lot of sitting around. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'll make it fun. And that was my goal, you know, and everybody had a great time.
It's very fun. It's very nice. Yeah. Before this, were you a techie girl? Were you involved in social media and the web at all, or not? This is like you're learning as you go now.
Well, I wasn't on Twitter. I wasn't on Google Plus. I didn't know what a hashtag was. And so that's all a learning curve. And the Kickstarter, you know, I called a couple of people, and they said, and it's doubly funded now, so I get to do 2 videos from it. And people, strangers all over the world, have come out of the woodwork to donate. I have like 875 backers. Wow, really, nice. Really cool. And the single will be on CD Baby this weekend.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah. The karaoke version and the regular version.
Wow. And what do you see happening as a result of the first video becoming viral on YouTube? What's happening now in your life? Just I get a voice for positivity. Yeah. You know, I get a voice for saying we're all okay. You know, feel good about yourself no matter where you live, how much money you have, what you look like, what's your gender. It's just like, Or
treasure.
your age, right? It doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't. It
What
doesn't.
do you see? What do you see in your future now? What are your next projects that you have in mind?
Well, to make the video, so the first one will be, well, I'm not sure which one the first one will be. I've said it was If I Were Enlightened, but Older Men has started to come through.
Oh, really?
Hilarious! I'm my muse. Um, it's kind of this silly rap, hip hop that breaks into this country thing. It's just, it's outrageous. So we're all excited and we may flip it. I don't know. And then I have a song called If I Were Enlightened. And that song is just about, you know, how hard we try to be better, and it just doesn't work sometimes. So it's very lighthearted as well, and anybody who is known as a spiritual seeker or is a spiritual seeker or has done any of that kind of will appreciate it. And then there's another one called Do You Think That You Can Love Me Like My Dog Does? And that's going to be, it's a really sweet one, you know, for dog lovers, because we all know, you know, how our dogs love us. And my goodness, one of my secret goals is to see people and to react to people, not physically, because that would be a little weird, but as if they were dogs, because I love dogs so much. Like, oh, hi!
Good girl, good girl.
Exactly. You know, probably wouldn't want to go up to a stranger and, oh, how are you doing today? But that, you know, the energy of that.
I just got a puppy like 5 days ago, and it's fun because he's always so happy, Donnalou, that it's amazing. I was really thinking the other day, I wish I could be that happy because it's so enthusiastic all the time that even if you have a bad day, you look at him and you start playing and everything shifts. It's amazing.
I think that's why the world was gifted with animals. I really do, is to show us that unconditional love. It's so sweet. And then I hope to get together a band. I sing with a band right now. I'm part of a band, but they're unable to tour. And we do a lot of music, and I want my band to be just positive music, uplifting music. So that's really fun. And then in the back of my mind, I have something similar to kind of what you're doing. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but something to some remarkable over 50, you know,
Yes.
beings and what we're doing, because it's so amazing, you know.
Yeah,
There are so many wonderful, amazing people doing amazing things that we never hear about.
And Donnalou, I think you really, with your success now on YouTube, proves the point. You know, when we are talking sometimes with advertisers and marketers, there's all this thing that YouTube, the power users are only people from 18 to 34, and nothing will happen for boomers, for example, that are trying. And you just prove that that's not the case, right? You're not 20 to 24 at all, and you have a viral video on YouTube, a good quality music, and you have things happening to you and media approaching you. That, you know, you just proved a big point for all boomers out there. We are not only users of content online, but we can make shifts in our life in any point if we put the effort. Like you said, you were working 10, 15 hours a day promoting. It is work, but it's happening, right?
Exactly. And I couldn't do it without everybody that's been excited and shared. And I put my video up on everything I would search: aging, older, mature.
Yeah.
And then and then it would come like, oh, country, oh yeah, country, okay, oh, women, okay. Well, I would just find all of these, I guess that's what AdWords is, huh?
Yeah,
The target people. And everybody, I mean, the response, it's been incredible. I've gotten 2 verbal negative comments, I mean, on written, out of thousands and thousands and thousands of people commenting. That's incredible. And it's not about it. I don't think people are tapping into anything that it's not about me. It's about what
Yeah.
feeling that empowering, funny thing elicits. That's what we like.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Let's
And
explore
accept,
that.
yeah, ourselves in no matter which age in our life we are, in which phase.
So it's so incredibly true.
You know,
So
for
I
us,
really honor you for doing, for doing something like that and being,
awesome.
saying, yes, we're still remarkable.
We are, we are. So I want you to finalize this, to tell women your age, you know, your message to them, how they can, shift their moments, shift their life if they choose to.
You know what? The most incredible thing for me was to turn around and look at what I was believing and then just recognize that is something someone taught me that's not true. And to really sit with and to recognize, wow, it's that thought, not that circumstance, that's causing this feeling. Wow. And if it's a negative one, I look at it. My negative feelings are no longer the enemy. They're an alarm saying, look at what you're believing. The pain is because it's not true. Holy moly, it's not you over there. It's not that circle. He's not doing that. It's just like, wow, it's this thought connected to this feeling. And if I don't believe that, guess what happens to the feelings? That's it. I mean, I lived in physical pain for over 35 years, so much so sometimes that I didn't want to be here anymore. And I walked around going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And the only thing that released that was to turn around and look at what it was, both physically and mentally and spiritually, and to say, no, I'm going to choose to live, and I'm going to live in joy and gratitude. And it wasn't easy at first. It took hours and hours a day. I couldn't work, and so I made that my full-time job. Every time I would get upset, I would lay down and turn around and look at that. Look at that. Why? See, you're suffering because of that belief. Something about the future, something about the past. It's like, well, okay, is it happening here and now? And I literally had to let my attention relax away from that invisible movie, that little horror movie I was listening to or seeing, and just go, what's here now? Is it happening now? And anchor myself again and again by just simply looking up and listening. What's happening now? The dog is playing in the water. The birds are chirping. It's cool in Texas in June. It's amazing. This moment is amazing. And that's all we have.
That's
What are you going
fantastic.
to do with it?
Yeah, yeah.
Celebrate! No matter what.
Mhm.
And what
That's
I
awesome.
realize is the more I celebrate, the more that's reflected back. I mean, look what's happened. It's crazy. This is crazy. I
Do
was
you,
on
do you
CNN last night.
do you wake up some days thinking it's kind of surreal what's happening right now?
Every moment I think that, Shahar. It's like, this is because it's all happening in my friend's living room. I took a shower this morning because I knew we were going to do that, but I wouldn't have otherwise, and I'd be running around with my cup of coffee, and just like it's all happening in this cyber world, in this virtual world. It is freaky. Uh,
But I bet it's a lot of fun as well, and
oh
I'm
my
really
gosh,
happy.
it's amazing, and I've got so many people around me going, did you see we're over 2 million? It's like the we factor. Everybody's talking in the we factor.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you what joy that brings to me.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, because every single person that shares is part of the process, and that's a beautiful
Exactly.
thing. Yeah.
That's why I told everybody who has shared it, who has donated to my Kickstarter, I'm like, you're my wings. You're what's allowing this to fly. This would have never happened without everybody having a piece of being these energetic wings to take this,
That's great. That's
Make
great.
magic.
Yeah, it is like magic, and I think now you have a flag, because you're proving people over 34 that how things can be different for them, and how talent it can be out there in the whole world now using technology is fantastic. Thank you very much
Oh,
Donnalou.
it was lovely to be with you, Shahar. Thank you.
It was great, and I can't wait to see your next video. So let us all know when it's out there.
I will, and love to all. My heart's really full. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, I'm going to let me just double check if everything is okay. Mm. Did you like it?
I loved it. Did you like it?
Yes, I did. I just want to double check. Well, okay, I can do that later, and I'll let you know. I just want to see because you know how it is technology. Sometimes uh, there are some glitches, but I think everything went fine. Thank you very much, Donnalou.
Yay! Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'll send you a message on Facebook when it's on, and then
Okay,
you can see and share.
sounds
Okay?
great. I'm sorry about yesterday.
Ah, it's okay. It happens. See you then.
You have a
Thank
good day.
you.
Bye bye.
You too. Bye bye.